Hi guys! Today we are going to be talking about visualizing. As you read, good readers use the details in the text and what you already know to help you make pictures in your mind of the places, the characters, the events in the story. When you're visualizing, you need to think about how something looks, sounds, tastes, feels, or smells. You're going to use your senses as you're visualizing. The first thing I want you to do today is take a piece of paper and you are going to fold it a hot dog fold. Hot dog fold. Then you're going to do a hamburger fold. And when you open it back up, you should have 4 rectangles. And if you will just take a pencil or pen and trace over the lines so that you have 4 rectangles. And in each of the rectangles, I would like for you to write the numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. As we're reading today, I am going to show you most of the pictures as we're reading our read aloud, and then there's going to be some pages where we stop, and I want you to pause the video, and I want you to think about what you are seeing in the words that I'm reading. Okay? I want you to take a moment and draw a picture of what you're visualizing. And remember to think about your 5 senses. What would it look like? What would it sound like? What would it taste like? What would it feel like? Or what would it smell like at that part in the story? The story we're reading today is called The Other Dog. I picked this story because at the beginning of COVID, we ended up fostering a dog, and we already had a dog, and so we were dealing with some interesting dynamics. That's all I'm going to say. So this book was pretty fun as I was reading it. The Other Dog. First of all, I think you should know that I am the one who wrote this book. After all, contrary to opinion, the author of a book is very important. Please believe me, without the author, a book would never get written. So I wrote this book. Touche L. Ingle Franklin wrote this book. With the assistance of that inferior canine Joe. This summer, my mistress went away for several days. And when she came back, she brought with her another dog. If you ask me, this was a very great waste of money. Dogs are expensive to feed and clothe, and one dog is enough for any family. I fail to see why I did not satisfy all requirements. Okay, guys, I want you to stop the video by pushing pause, and I want you to draw a picture of what you are picturing happening in this scene. You can start the video back when you're done drawing your picture. Here's the next part. I have beauty, wit, and charm. I have been on the stage. I am very talented. And until this other dog was brought into our home without warning, my master and mistress seemed perfectly happy with me. I am very good about sitting on laps. In fact, I love sitting on laps. I know of no other dog who could sit on a lap for as long as I can, or without as much patience as I can. So why another dog? I would like for you to pause and draw a picture of that scene and what you are seeing during that part of the read aloud. You can start back the recording when you are ready. I dance, oh, so daintily. When it is time to eat, my master and mistress love to look at me. So why another dog? I afford my master endless pleasure in his off hours when he bathes and clips me. I can wear my ears long or short. I sit still for hours while he snips off hair here and there. No other dog would be so good and patient. I am tremendously useful in such household tasks as bringing home the groceries. And I always tell my master and mistress when the telephone or the doorbell rings. No one could be more efficient, more energetic, more conscientious, or louder about this than I am. So why another dog? But what's done is done. The dog was brought home, and I had to learn to make the best of it. Nevertheless, from the start, I noticed a great many mysterious and horrifying things. For instance, when I am taken out to get some fresh air, I always have to walk, even when it rains. The Jo is taken out in a carriage. And when it rains, she doesn't have to go out at all. And another thing, my master and mistress keep putting on and taking off white pieces of cloth around Jo's bottom, called, for some obscure reason, diapers. At first I did not understand the significance of this, but when I did, I was deeply shocked. When I have anything of that sort to do, I go out to the street. White clothes or no, I would never, ever do it in the house. At least one thing remained clear. Of the two dogs, I was the most important. You see, each night we would start out in our separate beds. This dog called Jo and I. Now her bed may be a little more fancy and frou-frou, but mine is more practical. In the morning, she would still be in her bed, but I would not be in my bed. Well, if that doesn't show you who's who around here, I don't know what would. And another thing, this Jo dog gets fed several times a day. I only get fed once. Of course, there may be a reason for this. You see, I have frequently been told that my tail is like a chrysanthemum. Jo thing hasn't any tail at all. Of course, I'm aware that because of this fashion, some dogs have their tails clipped. But there's always something left. And Jo has no tail. Perhaps they think that if they fed her and fed her and fed her, she may grow a beautiful chrysanthemum tail like mine. Okay, let's go ahead and finish our last rectangle. Take your time, pause the video, and draw what you're visualizing. Okay, to our last section. And by the way, our Joe, as well as having no tail, has practically no hair. Certainly not enough to brush. So when people come to call, we have to put clothes on her. All I need is a good hair brushing. If summer comes, can fall be far behind? So said the poet. Came autumn, and Joe Girl and I are almost the same size. She has a little more hair, but not much. I'm afraid she is just an inferior breed called baby. And there is nothing that can be done about it. When the Joe dog grew bigger and bigger every day and more rambunctious, my master and mistress got a doghouse for her. Something I have been well behaved enough never to need. And now when company comes, I have to stay at the doghouse and watch over our Joe. I guess I have become more use there than at the life of the party. It may be useful, but it's not nearly as much fun. But since we have Joe Dog, someone has to take care of her, and I will do my part. I must admit, though, that in our few conversations, she's been most interested in everything I've had to say, which is, I think, a definitely encouraging sign of intelligence. Therefore, I must admit that in spite of myself, in spite of the Joe Girl, in spite of everything, I am getting very fond of our other dog. So, somehow or other, I have become the unpredictable, surprising, amazing, astonishing, astounding conclusion. In every home, there should be 2 dogs. So now goodbye and lots of love. Okay, guys, I have a second video for you that I'm going to show you guys where you're going to get to see every picture of the book. And I want you to see how your drawings might be a little different than what you heard as you stopped today. I will be back on another video.